Hey friend, are you asking yourself, is this what I really want to be doing with my life? I don't think so. I think there's something else that I'm meant to be doing. Welcome to the Painting Your Path podcast, where we have real conversations about what it takes to step out, be bold, and do you. I'm your host, Castillo-Ramsey. Let's dive in. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Painting Your Path. I hope wherever you're listening from today, you can take a nice, deep breath with me. I've been looking forward to this conversation. Earlier this week, something really beautiful happened. 15 women said yes. They joined the very first call of my new Painting Your Path membership. And don't worry, I'm not going to spend time talking about the membership. That's not what this episode is all about. This episode is about what those 15 women reminded me. And you guys, I could get choked up. This could be an emotional episode. We'll see what happens. Because as I read through every survey, every thoughtful response to a questionnaire I had about what prompted them to say yes to this experience, here's what I noticed. Not one woman said, I need another productivity system. Not one woman said, I need another certification. Not one woman said, I need to hustle harder. Instead, they said things like, I'm excited to get creative again. I want to reconnect with what inspires me. I used to paint and write stories every day as a kid, and I miss creating just for the experience, not the outcome. And one woman wrote something that especially stayed with me. She said, there's been so much efforting in self-help. I feel alone sometimes. Like I'm too late. My art supplies are covered in dust. That word, efforting, I don't know about you, but I felt that in my bones. Because so many of us have become experts at effort. Work harder, push harder, try harder, produce more, optimize more, measure more. And somewhere along the way, joy quietly slips out the back door. And if you've been here for a while, you know, or probably have heard me talk about my framework. Dream, decide, plan, be brave, reflect. It's a framework I've lived by for decades. But creating this membership made me realize something. I often talk about the framework without talking about the foundation underneath it. Because none of those things happen if we're running on empty. It's hard to dream when you're stressed out. It's hard to be brave when you're exhausted
and burned out. It's hard to reflect when you're moving so fast that you barely have time to notice your own life. And the foundation beneath every dream is caring for the person who's dreaming. For me, it's always looked like making space for things that restore me. Walking outside, meditation, yoga, conversation with good friends, painting, creating, taking naps. And that might not be viewed as quote-unquote productive, but it is in my book. It's life-giving. And as I was thinking about my message for this week, I remembered a story from many years ago, like over 20 years. Back when I worked at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. One afternoon, I brought paints and paper into work. Nothing fancy, no lesson, no masterpiece. We just painted. And afterwards, my boss looked around and asked, why don't we do this more often? And at the time, it felt like such a simple question. But looking back, that question planted a seed. And it's taken me a long ass time to fully accept that maybe the things that nourish us don't have to be complicated. Maybe gathering around a table with paint, music, conversation, or creativity isn't fluffy. Maybe it's exactly what we need. And maybe we've convinced ourselves that joy has to be earned. We have to finish everything else first. That someday, after the work is done, that's when we get to rest. That's when we get to create or play. But what if joy isn't the reward? What if it's the fuel? And I'll be honest with you, this summer has felt a little different for me. I've been focused on family and helping my mom with her eventual move from Texas to California. I've been focused on health and working on rehabilitating my voice. So you're gonna hear my voice crack, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And I've felt like I've had to find my rhythm again. And there have been moments where I've wondered if I was doing enough. Am I building enough? Producing enough? And then these women showed up. 15 women who reminded me that maybe the world doesn't need another person doing more. Maybe what the world needs is more people creating again, slowing down, reconnecting with themselves. making art without worrying if it's good, picking up an instrument just because they love the sound, or writing because they have something to say. People coloring with their grandkids or dancing in the kitchen. People remembering who they were before the world told them to measure their worth by what they produced. I often say painting your path isn't really about art. It's about self-expression. And art just happens to be one of the ways we get there. Because every time we create, we're practicing something much bigger. Curiosity, presence, trust, courage, and joy. So, if you're listening today, I want to leave you with one question. What brings you joy simply for the sake of joy? Not because you get the recognition or the money or because you're good at it. Just because it makes you feel more like yourself. Maybe it's gardening or baking or dancing. Maybe it is watercolor or writing poetry that no one else has to read but you. Whatever it is, I hope you protect it. Because I don't think joy is a luxury. It's part of how we take care of ourselves. And just maybe it's part of how we change the world. So if there's one thing I hope you remember from today, it's this. Do what brings you joy. Because when you do, you quietly get someone else permission to do the same. And imagine if that becomes contagious. Imagine if we spread more joy instead of more burnout. One person, one paintbrush, one conversation, one brave act of self-expression at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me today. And if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to join the waitlist for the Painting Your Path community membership. Our founding members have just begun this journey together, and we'll be opening the doors again this fall. And you can find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep deciding, keep planning, keep being brave, and keep reflecting. And don't forget the foundation beneath it all. Take good care of yourself and keep painting your path.
Thank you so much for staying till the very end. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. If you haven't had a chance yet, please write a review and rate the show. I would love to hear your feedback. And I also have a free resource guide for anybody who is asking themselves, am I on the right path for myself now? Or is there something else that I really want to do? Maybe you're in that quandary. Maybe you're wondering what's next. So head over to the show notes and you'll see my Painting Your Path framework guide. Download it and have some fun. Just start exploring. And thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next week.